technical difficulty. Good morning. It's good morning. It's not good morning. It is afternoon. Let's not start the day over. Oh my. Sorry, Instagram. No love for you there. Sorry about that. All right, good evening. We are going to get started with Pilates in just a few minutes. You need yourself and a mat. Hello, Instagram. Anyone on Facebook want to give a shout out, a thumbs up, a heart maybe? All right, so it is 5:30 right now, so we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Aimee. I am the Group Fitness Director at Merritt in Eldersburg, and I have a 45-minute Pilates class for you today, one where we will start with our warm-up. We will do the stomach series, and then we're going to move to the side kick series. We'll do some back in there as well. So Pilates, if you have not done it before, it's a unique system of strengthening and stretching. I put in the description of the class to tone, strengthen, help your balance, your flexibility, a number of things. You know, you'll feel lengthened and tall. Your posture helps your posture as well. All right, several things to keep in mind, which I will go over once we get started, about some of the goals, the intentions of the class, and things like that. So let's go ahead and get to the center of your mat, sitting crisscross. This is my makeshift bolster here, so we don't need that right now. I might end up needing to move. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. So let's go ahead and sit crisscross and just rock yourself a little bit side to side so you can get those sits bones down onto the ground. We'll just take a couple breaths here with some shoulder rolls. So breathe in, regular breath in and out, shoulder rolling to the back, up, back, and down. And take a nice breath in here, raise the arms up over the head, and then exhale as you go down. Right, nice big inhale and exhale. Regular breaths here, up and in, and then down. Take your left arm up and over the head, and then to the right, both sides. Got a little crickly crackling going on here. Side to side here. Hello, hello, I can see some things popping up. Hi Diane. One more time, each side. And then we'll hold here, arms are out to the side, palms are up to the ceiling. Take a breath in. And on your exhale, rotate around to the right, hips to the front. Inhale to center, and then back to the other side, left. Inhale through the center, exhale as you rotate. Take this time now to get used to having some control, right? Inhale and exhale, nice and controlled movements. We're going to focus on the quality of our movements, and the arms come down. Take your hands behind, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Right? So focusing on the quality of the movements rather than the quantity of the movements or the range of motion of the movements. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, open up the chest. It should feel good. A little neck side to side and the other side. Nice and controlled. Awesome, to center. All right, so let's turn over onto our behind with our knees at the short edge of the mat. Right, feet at the short edge of the mat, knees are together. We'll keep these nice and tight brought together. Release the arms out to the side, and then take a breath in here and exhale. And as you do, exhale, push your ribs down and back, pulling your belly button towards your spine. So we're curling and caving here. We want to articulate the spine nice and slow down to the mat. So keep that belly button pulled in to the spine. Keep breathing. So roll down one vertebrae at a time, right? Take your hands and place them underneath of your low back. We're going to do our breathing exercise this way today. All right, take a nice big breath, inhale. And then on your exhale, do the same thing. Press your ribs to the back, down towards the mat, and try to smush your fingers. Smushing your fingers. And then release, right? The pelvis will tilt out and back, creating more of an arch in the back. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale out. Push the ribs down and back. Try to smush your fingers with your spine. And then hold that there, right? This is what engages your powerhouse, the middle. If you can, remove your hands and maintain that pressing, right? Imagine that the hands are still there and we're still trying to press the spine down into the mat. I might have to turn on an angle so my neck is not kinked the whole time. All right, bringing the knees into the chest one at a time. We're going to start with the 100, right? It's meant to get the blood circulating and warm the body up. I'm going to turn just a little bit to the side here so you can see. All right, so if you're a beginner, you'll want to keep your knees bent, right? So we're going to extend the legs down into a 45 degree, right? Around the 45 or 90 for the hips, okay? If the legs are extended out, you'll be able to drop these more into the 45. You can also go for the 40 and then bend the knees, right? Lift up through the head and shoulders, keeping that chin tucked, looking to make sure that you've got the scoop in the belly, right? Start pushing your hands down at the sides. Keep going there. Imagine that you're like on the top of the water, maybe like you know how a kid slaps the water? So imagine that's where you are, right? We're in a nice pool right now and it's beautiful out and we're slapping the water with our hands, right? All the while, we're trying to reach our fingertips to the opposite side of the room and breathing 4 to 5 pumps on the outside per an inhale and 4 to 5 pumps per an exhale. Keep that up, right? You should definitely feel lots of warmth, especially through the middle, right? If it's bothering your head or neck, feel free to drop your head back down to the floor. And then squeeze the backs of your thighs together. The feet will turn out slightly in Pilates stance, and we'll hold that there. Welcome to just give the head a little gentle rest if you need to. All right, I'm not sure if we're at 100 or 200. And bring the knees into the chest. Go ahead and give the head a rest. Take your chin over to one side. And then take the opposite hand and reach for the ankle. So I have my chin to the left shoulder and my right hand is reaching for my right ankle. I'm creating some more length in that side of my neck without putting a lot more strain to get the stretch. And then switch sides. I'm going to turn my chin to the right and reach to the left. And then back to the center. All right, we'll take the feet down to the floor one at a time and then slide them all the way out. Take that inhale and exhale, and on that exhale, pull the belly button down, pressing your spine down towards the mat. At the same time, we're squeezing the knees together and the ankles. So imagine we've got a ball in between our ankles, a little small ball. We're trying to hold that in there, right? At the same time, we're smushing our fingertips. Okay, we are going to do a roll up. So if you're a beginner, you may want to take your hands underneath of the low back to give you some help up. Take a breath in here, and then on your exhale, lifting yourself up, and then reaching over, flex the feet, reach over for the feet. Inhale to tall, and then option to put the hands back behind the low back and slowly roll down, right? If you're okay without the little kickstand, I call it, the arms will be up over the head. Inhale, exhale, Articulate the spine nice and slow. Reach up and over towards the feet. Inhale as we sit tall, and then exhale again. Slowly articulate. So the roll up is meant to strengthen and stretch the spine through articulation. Right? So we're reaching, we're coming slow. We're continuing to pull the belly button back in towards the spine and slowly rolling down to the mat. Big reach over, inhale and exhale. I might have to move back a little bit so I can get more in frame. Slow roll down. Do one more of those while I move. Give me a little more in frame here. Be able to see a little better. Okay. Awesome. Next time you're down onto the ground, we'll hold there with our hands by our side. So those are the first two warm-up moves. Hopefully you're feeling warmed up. We're going to move on to the stomach series. Okay, let's bring the knees back to bent. So the stomach series is a set of 5 exercises. We're going to flow from one to the next without changing our initial body position. Right, which is here. This is where we'll stem from, this body position. Belly buttons are drawn in. Push the spine down towards the mat, right? Chin is staying slightly tucked. Again, you want to make sure that that ponytail, if you have one, is not right in the middle of your head because it's going to change the neck positioning, right? So belly buttons in, chin slightly tucked. We'll bring the right knee into the chest and give it a nice gentle hold. So right hand, right shin, left hand on the knee, okay? Exhale here, and that leg goes down. Inhale and exhale, bring the other one in, switch. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Add a layer to this, right? By bringing up through the head and the shoulders and staying lifted through the head and shoulders. Exhale. Inhale, switch. Exhale, pull. Add a layer to this by extending the other leg out. Inhale and exhale, switch. You have the option of taking this leg up higher to the ceiling for less intensity, or you can extend it out closer to the floor. Let's keep it at hip height, no lower than hip height for extra intensity. Never any pain or strain, right? Any of these exercises that we do, no pain or strain. We want to think about that we have a belt, a seat belt or a cement right across the torso here, and it's not moving. Tuck the chin, looking down at the belly button. Support if you need it. No pain or strain. Keep breathing, exhale. One more. Each side. Knees come in. If you're able to, stay lifted to keep the intensity, right? Option to rest the head if you need it, right? Double leg tugs. So we're going to take both legs out and back in, right? Inhale as we go out and exhale as we go in. We'll add the arms. Push off our top hat and scoop it around. Push off and reach and scoop. Keep going. Push and reach and scoop. Same rule applies for this leg here. Keep going for that. The intensity can be changed or modified based on the angle of your legs, right? More to the ceiling, less intensity. Closer to the floor, more intensity. Inhale, reach. Exhale, sweep. Keep doing that. Nice big inhale, reach, and exhale, sweep. One more time. And down. All right, moving on now to the straight leg tugs. So one leg is going to be extended up to the ceiling. Again, if you need a break for that head or neck, go ahead and take it. One leg up to the ceiling, other leg is going to be on an angle. Same rules apply for the leg. Higher up, less intense. Lower down, more intense, right? Gazing at that belly button, give it 2 tugs here and switch. 2 tugs and switch. Oh, lengthen the hamstrings. You can feel it. Keep breathing. The goal is, again, to keep this whole body position, right? Imagine that we have a big weight right here in the middle and there's no movement allowed, right? Lengthening through the hamstrings here, so we want this leg straight. You can change the place where you hold the leg to help with that. Keep going. Let's do some little quicker singles here. Doing good. 2, 1 more. And knees in. All right, go ahead and give a little break on the head. Take the chin over to one side. Reach long. So chin to left. Reach for the right ankle. And then switch. Chin to right. Reach for the left ankle. Breath there. Okay, back to center, and we'll let the feet go down to the ground. Taking the hands behind the head. It's really just the fingertips. So the tips of the fingers right behind the ears, and then walk yourself long. So imagine that you're trying to inchworm up your mat, right? Nice and long. One knee is going to come in. Opposite elbow and shoulder is going to go in that direction. You're going to look at the arm that's on the ground, right? Blow out all your air. Exhale, and then inhale back to center. Then repeat on the other side. Exhale, blow out all your air, and come back to center, and then keep going. Exhale, and then exhale. Exhale. Options here again to keep that bottom leg off the ground. Exhale. Blow all your air out. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. Keep going. Right, this is another one where make sure you're taking really extra care and make sure that there's not a lot of rocking in the hips or in the middle. Imagine that there's this big block of cement right underneath of you, right underneath of this torso. It's no movement from side to side, any rocking. Okay. You can slowly start to take this a little bit of a bigger, quicker pace. So long as you're able to maintain the control and fluidity. One more each side. Center and then down. All right, slowly drop the feet down to the floor. And take a big breath here. Again, we'll take the chin to the right shoulder, reach low. Take your fingers on the mat, your right hand, and try to walk your fingers away from you like spider. And then we'll switch. The left hand will walk and look to your right. And back to the center. Bring the knees up into the chest. Start rocking yourself back and forth. You can take a couple rocks, a little massage on the spine until you roll all the way up to the top. Right? And then turn over onto your side. How are we doing? Okay. So moving into the side series now, the side leg series, we're going to be laying on our side, focusing on the legs. In between each side, we'll do some swimming for the back and some opposite arm, opposite leg raises. Okay? All right, so come on down onto your mat. You are going to line your spine, your back up with the long back edge of the mat, right? And then your feet are going to come off of the front corner. A little bit more so you can see that, right? So feet are coming off of the front corner. That puts me in a slight pike position, right? I'm going to come down, bring my arm down to the floor, resting head on my hand and my elbow. If this bothers your neck, feel free to get a little towel or pillow and let your head go down, right? So the side kick series purpose is to work the inner and outer thighs, strengthen and increase mobility in the hips, right? We're doing all of this while we're keeping really steady on the mat through the upper body, right? So we'll gradually increase the range of motion, no big movements at the expense of control. So that's what we need to think about when we're doing this. It doesn't matter how big our movements are. What matters is that they're controlled, right? If you're controlled at one range of motion, then you can start making it a little bit bigger range of motion. Top hand is going to come down for some support, right? So point through the toes and squeeze the tops of the backs of the thighs together, right? That's what's going to give you the turn out. So if I come here to show you, I'm going to squeeze. Here I'm not squeezing, and then I'm going to squeeze the backs of my thighs together, and that turns my toes out slightly and plies stance, right? If that works for you, go for it. If it's not working, no worries, okay? So really pressing your weight into the bottom of your hip to help you from getting any rocking side to side, front to back motion, right? All right, so we're going to start with the front and the back. So squeeze the tops of the backs of the thighs together. Lift the leg just a little bit. It's a little more than hip height, not much at all, right? Keeping the toe pointed. Bring this out to the front for 2, and then behind you for 2. Front for 2. Remember our focus. Small movements. Gradually increase the range of motion if you're able to control your balance here on the floor. 2 and back 2. Front 2 and back 2. You want to imagine that you've got a cup of tea, or whatever your favorite beverage is, right? And it's the last one you've got, and we want to make sure that it's not tipping over on that shoulder, or if it were on the hip, right? So be real careful. Draw the belly button back to the spine. This is working the back of the hip, right? And the butt, stretching through the hamstrings. Last time. And hold this over the bottom foot. Up and down, right? Just as a sound. So we're still turned out slightly. We're going to point, lift up, flex your foot, and squeeze the heels together. Point, lift, flex, and squeeze together. Point, lift, flex, and squeeze. Again, controlled. If raising this up, right, if you start to lean to the back with that raise, then it's a little too high. Change your range of motion, shorten it up, point and flex. Right, we're strengthening the hips, the butt, the outer thigh, stretching the inner thigh on the way up here. Continue to press your weight into the bottom hip to help control the rocking. One more. And hold. We'll go back to that little point, right? Heels are turned in towards each other, so we have a little external rotation within the hip. And then make some small circles here, right? Imagine that you have a penny on the on your toe, right? And you're trying to hold that penny to a wall. Super slow, controlled here. And then reverse the direction. Small and slow. Right? Again, strengthening the hip, butt, and the thigh here. Okay. And hold. Side passe is next, all right? So we still have this slight turnout. You're going to lift the foot straight up to the ceiling, bend it, and press down the seam. Imagine if you got your pants on. Up, bend, and press, right? Being sure not to extend the leg too high to the ceiling so that you're rocking. Bend and press. One more. Reverse the direction, right? Take your toe, slide it up the seam, extend, flex here, and squeeze the heels together. In, up, squeeze. In, up, and squeeze. Keeping their hips stacked. One more time. In, up, and squeeze. Awesome. Go ahead and rest that top foot down. And then we're going to slightly change the position. So we're in a slight pike now. Let's bring the legs so they're straight out from us. We've done the inner thighs before, I believe, a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, not sure. Take this top leg and place the foot down on the ground right in front of that bottom thigh. Right? If you're able to, try to keep this top leg up high as you can, so that helps with the hips to be stacked. It might be a stretch for your hips to do that, so you're welcome to Bring this down. Try to keep it around parallel, right? Flex the bottom foot and lift it off the ground, right? So point and flex that a couple times so you can get that feel, right? Lift it off the ground. Then you're going to try to internally rotate, like invert your foot so that the sole of your foot toward the ceiling, right? It might not move. You might feel like it's not moving, but just, again, focusing on that area, inverting the foot so the sole goes towards the ceiling as you lift up and down, squeeze and down, squeeze and down. Make sure you're breathing, right? Not holding the breath at any point here. Lift and down. Again, this whole torso is steady. Eliminating the rocking. One more. Now hold it up as high as you can and pulse it very small. 8 pulses. 4, 3, 2. Hold it here. And now make some circles with this leg. Again, you're going to have to really push your weight into that bottom hip. Try not to rock. Switch your directions. Yikes. 2 more. 1 more. And rest. All right, so obviously there we were working the inner thigh, and then it gives us a little stretch in the back of our hips as well. Take the top leg, slide it back over, and then we're going to roll over onto our belly. Palm over palm. We are going to end up putting our head onto our hands, right? But I want to make sure, it's hard for me to make sure I'm in the picture here. So, once again, squeeze the backs of the tops of the thighs together, right? Squeeze those together, squeeze the glutes. The heels are going to turn in towards each other. And then we're going to take the heels and beat them together. Let me turn this way a little bit, see if you can see that. So rest your forehead down onto your hands, right? Squeeze the glutes, turn the thighs in, and beat the heels together here. It's a very small move, right? But it's working the back of the legs and definitely invoking the powerhouse, the middle, right? Keep beating those together. They get tired pretty quick, but keep going. Right? Just a few more, and then hold with a big squeeze, and then release. Hold yourself right here, right? Palm over palm, rest your forehead, and take a couple breaths here. Nice. All right, slide your hands underneath of your chest and push yourself up in a tabletop. Turn to the side here. Right, we're in tabletop. Making sure that your wrist is underneath of your shoulders and your knees are underneath of your hips. Take the floor and press it away from you, right? So here's the difference. I'm sunk into my shoulders. I'm arching through my back. I'm going to push up and out of my shoulders and draw my belly button in. Nice and flat back. Take your right leg and extend it out behind you. Then the left arm will extend out in front. All right, left and behind, right behind, left out front. Hold this here, really take the floor, push it away and up. Here's the difference. I'm down into my shoulder. I want to push up and away. A nice straight line from fingers to heels. We'll drop that and we'll switch. Left one goes up and presses out. Right hand reach up. Turn to the side here so you can see. Press the floor away. Straighten out the leg and down. Repeat other side. Lift up. Press away. Hi everyone. I feel like I'm a little too close, but keep going. Opposite arm, opposite leg, raise. Just a couple more of those. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Before we'll get down to the back and switch sides. All right.
go ahead, hold here, and then slide your legs out. We'll find a plank real quick. Welcome to bring the plank down to your elbows, if that is better for you. I just can't get my angle right here. Awesome. Still pressing up and away out of the floor. A little stretch on the calf. So push yourself, rock yourself back and front. Back and front. Hold back. Stretch the calves and lift the hips up just a little. And back down. Awesome. Bend your knees and come in. Okay, back to your side. We need to get to the other side, the opposite side. Okay? Back's along the back of the mat. And my feet are going to come off the front corner. So I'm on a slight pike. Right? Pressing the hips so this top hip stays stacked. One of the other ways that you can make sure that you've got your hips stacked is to take a look down at your feet. Right? If I roll this top hip backwards, then my feet are not in line with each other. I'll do that again. Roll the top hip back. They're not lined up. Okay? Push the top hip forward, and then they're the same length. All right? Gently, top hand, tent the fingers. Squeeze the tops of the thighs together, and then front and back. So we're going to lift it up just a little over hip height and come front and back. Front and back. Gradually increasing the range of motion based on your ability to control the movement through the balance. Right? It's like a little 2 and 2. Strengthening the back hip, the butt, stretching the hamstrings. Maybe you'd like to take this more advanced, then that top arm will come over the head. Probably have to shorten my range of motion for that. Let's do one more. Last time. Step the feet right over top of each other. Heels are meeting. So heels are coming together. And lift up and down. Lift up, flex, and squeeze down. Point up, flex, and squeeze. Making sure the hips are staying stacked. We can feel the stretching in the inner thigh, right, while we work the hips, the behind, and the outer thigh. Kind of thinking about you're coming up here, and the string is pulling it up, and then you have to pull and reverse. So you're trying to resist it from coming up, but then you squeeze it back down last time. All right, point the toe, lifting it slightly, some small circles here. Press into this bottom hip and leg. It will help you balance and stay steady. Controlled. Last time, switch directions, other way. Yes, hold there, side passe. So we're going to lift up first, bend, and then push it down. Again, imagine that you're trying to resist it being pulled to the ceiling. Resist and slide. One more. Reverse the direction. So slide your toe up the inseam, lift, and down. This one allows you to get a little more range of motion because we're coming up bent. One more. And hold. Ooh, all right, slide those feet back so we're straight. We're going to go to the inner thigh. Right, top foot is coming over. Trying to keep it level, or more to the ceiling. Contract the bottom, lift up that foot, and internal invert. So turn the sole to the ceiling. Lift this up and then down. Up and down. Again, you've got your advanced. If you'd like to take that balance help away, top one. Lift and lower. Keep going here. Keep breathing. All about control. Few more. How are we doing? Time check. Come on, watch. One more. Now hold it up and pulse. Pulse, 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 pulse. Great. Now hold it there and circle. Controlled. It doesn't have to be big, but it has to be controlled. Switch directions. Circle, circle, 2. One more. Hold it up and slowly drop. All right, let's slide that top leg over to meet it. I don't know why this is not working. All right, doing good, looking good. Roll over to your belly again and go palm over palm. Rest your head down, right? Squeeze the glutes together, squeeze the tops of the thighs, bring those heels in, and let's beat the heels together. Draw your belly button up and away from your mat. Ooh, we should feel this. Back of the legs. Draw your belly in, squeeze the glutes, and hold. Yikes, and down. Whew. Little side to side. And let's do some swimming before we get finished and out of here, right? Strengthen, stretching the muscles along the spine. Draw the belly button up and away from the mat. So we're engaging the powerhouse. We're going to lift opposite arm, opposite leg, and swim, alternating opposite arm, opposite leg. Continue. Right, belly's in, chin is tucked down, opposite arm and opposite leg. Keep breathing. We want to make sure that we're not holding our breath with it belly being pushed down sometimes. Keep going, opposite arm, opposite leg. Strengthening the back, the low back, the glutes, upper back as well here. Couple more. And rest. Bring this back in, palm over palm, forehead down. Put your toes on the floor and wag your heels back and forth. We're going to do one more set of those, right? Changing it up just a little bit, okay? If you'd like to add a little more intensity to that, we're going to take our hands more out to the corners of the mat, and same with the feet, out to the corners of the mat. So we're making a V with our upper body and a V with the lower body. Chin remains tucked. Same thing, opposite arm, opposite leg, lift. Keep going here, pulling the belly button up from the floor. So what this does by making the V is it puts more balance challenge into this exercise, right? Takes the center of gravity and puts it a little bit more unstable. Belly button's up, keep going. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Good, we're almost there. Two and one, palm over palm. Bend your knees and wag the feet back and forth. Windshield wiper here. Hold center. Okay, and let the feet fall in together, soles of the feet together. Take your hands alongside of your chest, push yourself up, and rock yourself all the way back in the child. So we'll put the big toes together, we'll splay the knees out to the side, and sit back in the child's here. Continue through the breaths, right? Take your fingers and walk them away from you. Spider walk them. So we get a stretch in the lats, that's underneath the armpits. Pick your right hand up and place it on top of your left. And then take your right hand back to where it was, and then pick your left hand up, place it on top of your right.
Inhale, we'll come up into tabletop here. Bring the knees underneath of the hips. Wrists underneath of the shoulders for a couple cat-cows. So exhale and round this up. Inhale, we'll bring it to flat and all the way through. Hold here for a second. Trying to pull the chest through the shoulders and then do that again. Exhale, round up. Inhale to flat and through to cow. One more time. Exhale, round. Inhale. Yay. All right. Bring yourself back to a flat back here. Toes are going under. Breath in, and on your exhale, come on up into a down dog and hold. Big sighing breath in and out. And then take your heels and walk them to the mat. Alternating your walk. Stretching the calves. Continue through that walk, stretching through your calves. We have time, so I'm going to get a stretch on the legs, the hips. Walking out and hold. Let your head and neck release, so shake your head yes and no, releasing any tension. We'll lift the right leg, so let the right leg float up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you bring it through to a nice big step, right? Drop the back knee down to the ground, flatten out that toe. So we'll hold here. Get in a stretch in the hip flexor. I have my right leg front. I'm not sure. I can't remember if I cued you on which leg to bring front or not. If this knee down on the ground is bothering you, you can always lift it up off of the ground. It's nice here to be able to relax it. Thank you. It's also nice to be able to relax it so you can let go into this stretch here. Breath in and exhale. Shift your weight towards the back. We'll leave and straighten out this front foot. Just for a sec, so we get some hands, and then come back to your tabletop. Inhale, exhale, up to down dog. Big breath here. Let the left foot float up. Exhale as you bring it through, big step. Outside of the hands if you're able to. Drop that back knee and flatten out the toe. Lifting through the chest, so we're going to lift and reach through the chest. Feeling this in the front of that hip flexor, right? The front of the thigh, the one that's on the ground. Breath in, exhale, shift the weight, straighten the front leg out. Awesome. Come on back. And then just pull that back leg in, sitting back onto the hips. Crisscross here. We'll start off in a crisscross. We're going to do a fire log or double pigeon sometimes it's called. Again, we're still working on the hips. Take your one leg on the bottom. Use the line of your mat as your guide, right, for our straight. Flex the bottom foot. Lean back. Bring the other foot on top. We're going to flex that foot as well. And then we want to look down and line them up as best that you can, parallel to one another, right? You might have to lift up, move yourself side to side, shift side to side, right? Not worrying if this top leg is connecting to the bottom leg. It might not. If you do have a towel or a cushion, and it's feeling like it's straining, you can always prop up that outside leg. Right? Getting the stretch here from sitting up tall, so you can even use your hands, press them into the floor to let your pelvis come more forward, sitting more in upright position. keep breathing here, right? The hips are pretty stubborn. It takes a little bit longer than other areas for them to let go. Maybe you can release and lean a little bit forward. Breath in and out. This is like a little yoga Pilates class. Breath in and out. Each time your breath comes out, you might be able to lean a little further. Again, staying tall through the back, so we're not here hunched over, but I'm continuing to lift up through my chest and the crown of my head. A little bit more. Last time. Walk your hands back, lift yourself up, lean back, and then uncross those legs. Feels good. It feels good. Other leg goes on the bottom. I'm going to super hard flex my foot. This is going to make sure that my knee doesn't get in a twisted position. Okay? Lean back, flex the top foot, help it over there. Knee on knee. So we're looking for knee on knee, ankle on knee, ankle on knee, knee on ankle. Look down. I'm going to adjust. Ooh, this side's not feeling it. Press my hands down, lift up through my chest, and breathe. Breath in and out. I'm going to come forward. In and out, still reaching through the crown of my head. One last time. Walking it back. Yikes. All right, let's straight way out here. Keeping our hands down, sitting in the back, like we're just hanging out at the pool, except I'm sunking into my shoulders here. I'm gonna lift up and out through my shoulders, squeeze them together, and drop my ear to one side and the other. One more time, side to side. And up to center. Release the hands by the sides. Breath in, inhale, and then exhale. One quick twist aside. We didn't do a long side stretch or a twist. Take this top hand down towards the ground. Yikes. Squeezing the knees and the legs together. Right, we're trying to keep these feet the same length. Inhale, left arm comes up, and the other side over. Right arm is up. We'll put that down on the ground. Ooh. Feet are together. Right arm up. Inhale and exhale down. All right, last breath in. Inhale and exhale. Hands come down the heart center. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you had a good class and that you enjoyed this sequence today. Again, we did warm up. We did the stomach series, 5 exercises, and then we did side lying series, which is 5 leg exercises and then the heel beats. Right after that, we did the swimming for the back. Right, if you have any questions, right, or maybe you're not feeling these exercises in the areas where I am talking about, let me know. I'll be glad to help you dial in that muscle focus a little bit more anytime you need it. All right, I hope that everyone has a great rest of the night, and I look forward to seeing you. I'll be back here on Friday at 9 for Active Spirit, and then Body Pump on Saturday at 9. Gentle Yoga on Sunday, 10:15. Right, great. Have a great evening. Beautiful rest of the night. Bye.